Why do humans get goosebumps? A lot of people think it's just our body reacting to the cold, but actually, it's your ancient genes trying to save your life. Biologically speaking, this is the fight or flight response. When you feel extreme fear or cold, your brain instantly activates your sympathetic nervous system. It releases a surge of adrenaline and forces the erector pili muscles at the base of your hair follicles to contract. For our mammalian ancestors, this mechanism was simply puffing up their fur. It had two hardcore survival benefits. First, the raised fur trapped air to create a natural down jacket. Second, in the brutal natural world where size often determines who eats whom, puffed up fur made them look visually much larger, massively increasing their intimidation factor. As humans evolved, we lost our thick body hair and our physical armor. Now all we have left are those bare little bumps on our skin. But relying on visual enlargement to survive and intimidate isn't exactly a new trick. About 290 million years ago, during the Permian period, one creature pushed this physical hack to its evolutionary limit. Meet the Dimetrodon. Let's clear up a huge misconception right now. Dimetrodon is not a dinosaur. Even though it rocked an exaggerated back sail, looked like a giant lizard, and constantly sneaks its way into dinosaur toy sets, the secret lies in its skull. Dinosaurs, crocodiles, and lizards are diapsids, meaning they have two holes behind their eye sockets. Dimetrodon, however, is a synapsid, just like us humans. It only had one hole behind the eye, which was used to anchor stronger jaw muscles. This means Dimetrodon didn't just predate the very first dinosaurs by tens of millions of years. It's actually the ancient, direct evolutionary cousin of all modern mammals, including you and me. Its fossils were discovered during the craziest period of American paleontology in the late 19th century, known as the Bone Wars. In 1878, paleontologist Edward Drinker Cope and his bitter rival Othniel Charles Marsh went to extreme lengths to snatch up fossils, even planting spies and using dynamite to blow up quarries. It was amidst this madness that Cope dug up a mind-blowing skull in the red beds of Texas. Back then, most predators just had a mouthful of uniform, cone-shaped teeth and swallowed their prey whole. But Dimetrodon evolved a next-generation weapon system. The front featured sharp incisors for precise biting, the middle boasted massive, deadly canines, and the back had smaller teeth for shearing. Cope immediately named it Dimetrodon, meaning two measures of teeth. This evolutionary leap allowed it to easily hunt large prey and tear off chunks of meat, boosting its eating efficiency exponentially. This was the exact evolutionary starting point of the highly specialized teeth, incisors, canines, and molars that we mammals have today. Of course, Dimetrodon's most imposing feature was that giant, meter-high sail on its back. It wasn't a boat sail for water or plant camouflage, as early scientists guessed. It was supported by elongated neural spines extending from the vertebrae, covered in skin that was rich with blood vessels. First and foremost, this sail was a highly efficient thermodynamic cheat code. The early Permian had extreme temperature swings. As a cold-blooded animal, Dimetrodon was sluggish in the cold mornings. But with this biological solar panel, it just had to turn sideways to the rising sun and let blood flow through the sail. Scientists have calculated that without it, a 400-pound Dimetrodon would need hours to raise its body temperature by just a few degrees. With the giant sail, that process was slashed to just a few dozen minutes. While other animals were still freezing and stiff, Dimetrodon was already fully charged and starting its morning hunt. By noon, it could retreat to the shade and use the sail to quickly vent heat into the breeze. But if it were just for temperature control, the sail didn't need to be so incredibly huge. That brings us to its second, and perhaps most core function, visual display and intimidation. Paleontologists have found healed fracture marks on the spine fossils of many Dimetrodon sails. This means they often engaged in brutal fights with their own kind. When two males faced off, they would pump massive amounts of blood into their sails. The normally dull skin would instantly engorge and turn bright red, perhaps even flashing vivid patterns. To a rival, its size would suddenly double, delivering overwhelming psychological pressure. The logic behind this winning without fighting intimidation tactic is exactly the same as our ancestors puffing up their fur, and the exact same mechanism behind the goosebumps you get today. Despite its massive sail and fierce teeth, Dimetrodon's gait was actually pretty low to the ground. Unlike dinosaurs, which stood with their legs straight under their bodies, Dimetrodon's limbs sprawled out to the sides, belly dragging like modern crocodiles and Komodo dragons. But that didn't stop it from using its explosive power and custom fangs to totally dominate the Permian. Even its plant-eating, sail-backed relative, Edaphosaurus, regularly ended up on its menu. Sadly, as the climate became drastically drier in the mid to late Permian, Dimetrodon was gradually replaced by more advanced therapsids and eventually went extinct. But the magic of evolution is that while everything eventually disappears, some things always get left behind. From the blood-engorged giant sail of a Dimetrodon 290 million years ago, to the goosebumps popping up on your arm in the cold wind today, the instinct to bluff for survival has been deeply branded into the DNA of our ancestors over hundreds of millions of years. So, next time you get goosebumps, run your hand over those little bumps. It's not just an awkward reaction. It's your dormant, ancient genes speaking to you across 300 million years saying, "Don't be afraid, I'm